A fool thinks himself to be wise, but a wise man knows himself to be a fool. No man was ever wise by chance. A wise man can learn more from a foolish question than a fool can learn from a wise answer. Life is a dream for the wise, a game for the fool, a comedy for the rich, a tragedy for the poor. Early to bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. Wisdom is the right use of knowledge. To know is not to be wise. Many men know a great deal, and are all the greater fools for it. There is no fool so great a fool as a knowing fool. But to know how to use knowledge is to have wisdom. A smart man makes a mistake, learns from it, and never makes that mistake again. But a wise man finds a smart man and learns from him how to avoid the mistake altogether. Wise men speak because they have something to say, fools, because they have to say something. The fool who persists in his folly will become wise. A wise man gets more use from his enemies than a fool from his friends. You can be very wild and still be very wise. The stupid neither forgive nor forget. The naive forgive and forget. The wise forgive, but do not forget. The aim of the wise is not to secure pleasure, but to avoid pain. A beautiful woman delights the eye, a wise woman, the understanding, a pure one, the soul. He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. Wise sayings often fall on barren ground, but a kind word is never thrown away. The day the child realizes that all adults are imperfect, he becomes an adolescent. The day he forgives them, he becomes an adult. The day he forgives himself, he becomes wise. No one who achieves success does so without acknowledging the help of others. The wise and confident acknowledge this help with gratitude. He who knows others is wise. He who knows himself is enlightened. Let us raise a standard to which the wise and honest can repair. The rest is in the hands of God. I have always observed that, to succeed in the world, one should appear like a fool but be wise. It is impossible to love and to be wise. Before God we are all equally wise and equally foolish. Do not seek to follow in the footsteps of the wise. Seek what they sought. The wise man does at once what the fool does finally. The teacher who is indeed wise does not bid you to enter the house of his wisdom, but rather leads you to the threshold of your mind. A hero is born among 100. A wise man is found among 1,000. But an accomplished one might not be found even among 100,000 men. The Supreme Court has ruled that they cannot have a nativity scene in Washington, D.C. This wasn't for any religious reasons. They couldn't find 3 wise men and a virgin. Rules are for the obedience of fools and the guidance of wise men. Self-pity is our worst enemy, and if we yield to it, we can never do anything wise in this world. A wise woman wishes to be no one's enemy. A wise woman refuses to be anyone's victim. True love is not a strong, fiery, impetuous passion. It is, on the contrary, an element calm and deep. It looks beyond mere externals and is attracted by qualities alone. It is wise and discriminating, and its devotion is real and abiding. Many that live deserve death, and some that die deserve life. Can you give it to them? Then do not be too eager to deal out death and judgment, for even the very wise cannot see all ends. To make no mistakes is not in the power of man, but from their errors and mistakes the wise and good learn wisdom for the future. The art of being wise is the art of knowing what to overlook. A wise man makes his own decisions. An ignorant man follows the public opinion. Where ignorance is bliss, 'tis folly to be wise. Nothing is as dangerous as an ignorant friend. A wise enemy is to be preferred. There is only a finger's difference between a wise man and a fool. Pain makes man think. Thought makes man wise. Wisdom makes life endurable. Belief is a wise wager, granted that faith cannot be proved. What harm will come to you if you gamble on its truth and it proves false? If you gain all. If you lose nothing. Wager, then, without hesitation, that he exists. A single conversation across the table with a wise man is better than 10 years' mere study of books. We are made wise not by the recollection of our past, but by the responsibility for our future. For the wise man looks into space and he knows there is no limited dimensions. The wise man doesn't give the right answers. He poses the right questions. A smart man only believes half of what he hears. A wise man knows which half. A wise man should have money in his head, but not in his heart. A fool can throw a stone in a pond that 100 wise men cannot get out. To be idle is a short road to death, and to be diligent is a way of life. Foolish people are idle. Wise people are diligent. The wise have always said the same things, and fools, who are the majority, have always done just the opposite. No man is so foolish, but he may sometimes give another good counsel, and no man so wise that he may not easily err if he takes no other counsel than his own. He that is taught only by himself has a fool for master. The misfortune of the wise is better than the prosperity of the fool. A wise man should consider that health is the greatest of human blessings, and learn how by his own thought to derive benefit from his illnesses. It is only the enlightened ruler and the wise general who will use the highest intelligence of the army for the purposes of spying, and thereby they achieve great results. Neither a wise man nor a brave man lies down on the tracks of history to wait for the train of the future to run over him. To the wise, life is a problem, to the fool, a solution. The wise musicians are those who play what they can master. A fool is wise in his eyes. It is always wise to look ahead, but difficult to look further than you can see. We can be knowledgeable with other men's knowledge, but we cannot be wise with other men's wisdom. I have always been regretting that I was not as wise as the day I was born. Christmas in Bethlehem, the ancient dream, a cold, clear night made brilliant by a glorious star, the smell of incense, shepherds and wise men falling to their knees in adoration of the sweet baby, the incarnation of perfect love. It is wise to direct your anger towards problems, not people, to focus your energies on answers, not excuses. The wise are instructed by reason, average minds by experience, the stupid by necessity, and the brute by instinct. Wise men, when in doubt whether to speak or to keep quiet, give themselves the benefit of the doubt and remain silent. A wise man proportions his belief to the evidence. A wise man is superior to any insults which can be put upon him, and the best reply to unseemly behavior is patience and moderation. An optimist is a person who sees a green light everywhere, while a pessimist sees only the red stoplight. The truly wise person is color-blind. I have no faith in human perfectibility. I think that human exertion will have no appreciable effect upon humanity. Man is now only more active, not more happy, nor more wise than he was 6,000 years ago. The wise are wise only because they love. The fool are fools only because they think they can understand love. Wise and humane management of the patient is the best safeguard against infection. You can tell whether a man is clever by his answers. You can tell whether a man is wise by his questions. Logical consequences are the scarecrows of fools and the beacons of wise men. He that is not handsome at 20, nor strong at 30, nor rich at 40, nor wise at 50, will never be handsome, strong, rich, or wise. Wise to resolve and patient to perform. Travel makes a wise man better, and a fool worse. The man who can keep a secret may be wise, but he is not half as wise as the man with no secrets to keep. 9/10 of wisdom is being wise in time. A fool flatters himself, a wise man flatters the fool. Love is the wisdom of the fool and the folly of the wise. Many receive advice, only the wise profit from it. Such is the nature of men, that howsoever they may acknowledge many others to be more witty, or more eloquent, or more learned, yet they will hardly believe there be many so wise as themselves. Tell me I'm clever, tell me I'm kind, tell me I'm talented, tell me I'm cute, tell me I'm sensitive, graceful, and wise, tell me I'm perfect, but tell me the truth. Ignorant men raise questions that wise men answered 1,000 years ago. Duty makes idiots sad and wise men merry. Every judgment of conscience, be it right or wrong, be it about things evil in themselves or morally indifferent, is obligatory, and such wise that he who acts against his conscience always sins. Affliction comes to us, not to make us sad but sober, not to make us sorry but wise. If you wish to succeed in life, may perseverance your bosom friend, experience your wise counselor, caution your elder brother, and hope your guardian genius. The mind that is wise mourns less for what age takes away than what it leaves behind. Be as smart as you can, but remember that it is always better to be wise than to be smart. It is a wise man who said that there is no greater inequality than the equal treatment of unequals. Study how water flows in a valley stream, smoothly and freely between the rocks, Also learn from holy books and wise people. Everything, even mountains, rivers, plants, and trees, should be your teacher. The fool wonders, the wise man asks. Wise men argue causes, fools decide them. The ant is knowing and wise, but he doesn't know enough to take a vacation. Life is a pilgrimage, the wise man does not rest by the roadside ends. He marches direct to the illimitable domain of eternal bliss, his ultimate destination. Education is a crutch with which the foolish attack the wise to prove that they are not idiots. It's not wise to violate rules until you know how to observe them. It is best for the wise man not to seem wise. Living life tomorrow's fate, though thou be wise, thou canst not tell nor yet surmise. Pass, therefore, not today in vain, for it will never come again. I've always said that at the end of the day, on a legal issue, I think a wise old woman and a wise old man are going to reach the same conclusion. A wise man does not chatter with one whose mind is sick. True wisdom is less presuming than folly. The wise man doubteth often, and changeth his mind. The fool is obstinate, and doubteth not. He knoweth all things but his own ignorance. We respect our elders. There is wisdom that comes from experience, and I am not going to stop learning from wise counsel. We respect our elders. There is wisdom that comes from experience, and I am not going to stop learning from wise counsel. The good and the wise lead quiet lives. From the errors of others, a wise man corrects his own. I was wise enough to never grow up while fooling most people into believing I had. Think like a wise man, but communicate in the language of the people. The enemies cannot destroy the king who has at his service the respect and friendship of the wise men who can find fault, disagree, and correct him. The American people may not be the best educated, but they're very wise at heart. Begin, be bold, and venture to be wise. Kings may be judges of the earth, but wise men are the judges of kings. Be wise with speed. A fool at 40 is a fool indeed. To reform a world, to reform a nation, no, wise man will undertake, and all but foolish men know that the only solid, though a far slower reformation, is what each begins and perfects on himself. Talking and eloquence are not the same. To speak and to speak well are two things. A fool may talk, but a wise man speaks. Do not reveal what you have thought upon doing, but by wise counsel keep it secret, being determined to carry it into execution. Be happy. It's one way of being wise. Women desire 6 things. They want their husbands to be brave, wise, rich, generous, obedient to wife, and lively in bed. Some folks are wise and some are otherwise. A wise man fights to win, but he is twice a fool who has no plan for possible defeat. My idea is always to reach my generation. The wise writer writes for the youth of his own generation, the critics of the next, and the schoolmasters of ever afterward. The wisdom of the wise and the experience of ages may be preserved by quotation. Poverty makes you sad as well as wise.